Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my amazing co-host, Zoe from the Hangout Room. How are you today, Zoe? And are you ready to talk the mole?
I'm so excited. I know who the mole is. My mind is made up. You guys have a difficult time changing it. So I cannot wait to talk.
Okay, so when do you want to let us know who you think the mole is? At the end of this episode, or when you got the intel? Like, what was there a moment when you figured it out?
Two moments. I
Okay.
think it was the bank heist
Okay.
and the
Oh,
episode
the bank
5.
heist. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting because my friend Jonathan, I don't know if you see him, but he comes on my channel all the time. He's doing his own mole recaps, and he laid out just from episode 1 and 2 how he thinks who I think you think is the mole. And so he already thought this person was the mole 100%. So we're going to start talking about, I'm probably going to start speaking about the season with this person being the mole, I think.
Oh my God. I feel like it's going to be so bad if we are wrong and it's not him. But if we are wrong, it's going to be more exciting.
You said
because,
him.
like, oh my God.
You said him, I was saying her. Okay. We have
a okay. This is not getting interesting because I think it's a him. I think it's a him.
Okay, so we start back on episode 3. I'm really finding it annoying to having these cliffhangers. Just like finish the episode, we are going to watch on. It's just like the fact that we're starting this episode now with the conclusion of like a mission. I'm just like, I would love just to be a conclusion of the episode with just the quiz. Just let it end on the quiz. Just do it. Or maybe you
Get over and done with.
Yes.
You got us hooked already.
Yes, we're in. We're hooked. So Alex returns to tell them, both of these teams. So we had Sector 31 and Sector 45, both going for the button, with the word salvation being the password to get access to the button to receive the exemption. And so she says it was incredibly close, but Sector 45 is going to be the safe group of people. And so that is Pranav, Casey, Greg, Avery, and Sandy. So the fact that all these people are safe, maybe the mole could be in this group because they did prevent the group from making $10,000 for the pot. So some people are slightly moley in here, we'll say. So there's going to be a quiz. 20 questions about the mole. So let the quiz begin. And that's with everybody else that did not receive the exemption. And I was shocked. I was like, whoa, right there? Like in this warehouse? Like they're going to do the quiz? I thought it was pretty quick. Hi, Adrian. Adrian says, hey, ladies. So yeah, the mole is giving, am I right? Like,
I'm greedy.
You are right. The mole is giving. The mole is giving. I'm a little bit irritated by the end of episode 5, but by a couple of people. But that's just like, they're just annoying me. But other than that, like the whole concept and like the whole show, it's really good. Yep. Hi, Kathy. Hello. Got you on TV. Not going to be able to chat. Work is busy this afternoon. Well, we can see you on the TV. Thank you for joining in.
I'm on TV.
These eliminations so far are shocking. For me, not so much. I didn't think Osei knew what was going on. And who left? And this one, I had a wait, I can't remember who left this one.
Samari.
Oh, Samara. She didn't seem like she knew what was going on.
Yeah, but I was suspicious of her when she couldn't find the key, so I had my eyes on her. So it was like, okay, she's gone now. One less person to worry about.
I mean, but with the hair tie situation, from her angle, she might not be able to see it. The thing is about everybody, and I think that's what's annoying me, is that like if I was doing any of these missions, I'd have so much urgency, and I'd be like, okay, no, like I'd just be like trying really hard, and everybody is just so relaxed, and it's just like it's really annoying to me because like I want you to go, get it done, work fast, harder. Urgency.
With the hairband thing, it just didn't make intelligent sense. Why the hell would a hairband be doing outside a door an escape kind of a situation. I just didn't understand why her
No
brain
logic.
wasn't working. So that was irritating for me. So I was lashes out. I'm like, okay, go home, girl.
So the few questions that they showed was: does the mole have hair past their shoulders? Does the mole have the mole have a chessboard in their cell? Does the mole have any sisters? What pet does the mole currently have? So those are questions that we saw. I wish we don't see that much of people interacting, so we can't learn ourselves, so we can answer some of these questions on our own about the mole, which I would like to be able to do. Hi, JJ. Yes, I'm glad I'm caught up as well. I'm not a fan of how Netflix drops like episodes. I would have liked like you could do it every day. That would be fine for me. And then I just watch every day. Would do a recap every day. That would be fine. But 5 episodes, 1 episode, or whatever it's going to be. I'm like, Netflix, get it together. Please.
They are on the binging culture.
Adrian, can't wait to talk about the $25,000 bid.
Girl, I cannot wait. Chantele, when I told you that girl is peeling my skin, when she made that move, I had no skin to peel. I was done.
Remember I said people are getting on my nerves? She might be one of them. Dom and Sandy are the ones I'm shocked at out of the 4. I'm not shocked about. I'm not shocked.
Not with Dom. Definitely not with Dom. I think we said this the first time. There's no way Dom is a mole. So when Dom left, it was like, yeah, finally you can go. You're definitely not the mole.
I feel like the key thing was a height issue. Yes. Hi, Alicia. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm not like with the key thing. I think that it could have been the angle and couldn't be able to see it and just out of the corner of your eye. But like you're saying, Zoe, like if I were to see something like that, I'd be like, it looks like a hair tie, but I might not be able to see it properly. So give it a try. Like that's what I would be saying, right? I wouldn't be like,
exactly.
No, there's no key on it. Like I would be like, I can't really tell. So that's why she's so sus. But like everybody's just so weird. Like just be direct. The next 2 weeks are 2 episodes. Okay, that's better. I like that.
Yeah.
Personally. I love Joy. She's a great villain. Sure. Well, we'll get there.
Shoot the mole. Backup mole.
So we're at the quiz. Joy gets a green light. William gets a green light. And Samara gets the red light. She is out of the game. We didn't see that much from her, right? And so, obviously she's beautiful, and that's pretty much all that I really knew about her. I didn't see her connecting with people, finding new information about anybody. It just seemed like she was just kind of there, and so I just she knew what was going on.
She was just kind of there. I think the most iconic thing she said the entire time that she was in the house was when they showed up for the mission, and she was wearing heels, and she was like, I hope they're not making me go. I'm not ready to do any missions because I'm wearing heels. And then she does a mission wearing heels. Like, oh yeah, that's ironic. Yeah, kind of cute and funny. But that's it. What else did she say that was actually interesting?
I don't even remember her saying that. So there you go. So we're on our way to another mission, going to the Great Barrier Reef. Joy thinks Will is the mole, and so she's going to keep her eye on Will. They're going to. Say again?
Rightfully so, because at that time I'm also staring at Will.
So they're going to a beautiful resort. Casey is really watching everyone, taking in a lot of information. That would be me. I would be like listening, like out of the corner of my eye, like what's everybody doing? What's everybody thinking? Where is everybody? Like I would be on high alert if I was on the show. So Avery thinks that it's a mistake that she doesn't have people suspicious of her. So this is her new intention, is that like, hey, I think I need to have people be suspicious of me, which is the right play, to be honest, I think.
It is.
So how far will these players go for information? If every player resists reading the dossiers of their fellow players, they put $10,000 in the pot.
Would you have read it?
I think no. The reason
Why?
why I
Because
think
you're
I wouldn't read it is because I would hate to have to lie about it. Personally, and I think that, and I would probably be like, I know somebody else is probably going to read it, but knowing the way that this game goes, that it might be better for me to not read it. So
yeah, I wouldn't have read it because I
would
felt
or
like
wouldn't?
it would cloud
Would or
my
wouldn't?
judgment.
You would or wouldn't?
I wouldn't have. I feel like information is power if you have the right target. If you're just scattering around, then it might end up clouding your judgment even more. So I would not have read it, and I would want someone else to read it so they can break the rules. And then the line is said, integrity will be rewarded. I will want to be rewarded. So I also would not have read it for those two reasons.
Yeah,
Reward if it's there, and not to have my judgment clouded.
yeah, I think, I mean, I guess what's in the dossier is like what everybody's favorite color is, and if they have pets and stuff like that, and if they have, siblings or whatever. So I think it would be that kind of information. So yes, it's very useful, but I probably wouldn't want that information until we're down to like less people.
I wouldn't have either because once you get that information and then those questions pop up and you have your target on the wrong person, it would cloud your judgment. Because once you know this is my target and then they ask me all these questions and you know the answer to it, you would use that information on the wrong person. So rather just gather information around with everybody else and not have pre-existing or extra information that might cloud your judgment. So no.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that for sure. So people are being called in to talk to Alex by themselves one at a time to see whether or not they are going to accept the information. Knowledge is power. So Jacob, he's not looking, it seems. Avery thinks that it's already been looked at because it seems like the paper clips are out of sorts. Dom definitely doesn't want to look. He has integrity. He doesn't want to do it at all. I mean, I didn't expect Dom to look at all. I just really, really didn't. And if I was the mole, I wouldn't look. I don't think.
What's the point?
I would allow somebody else to take some heat here. So Alex arrives at the resort. Alex, our host. She's growing on me. She's growing on me. What I like about her is that it doesn't seem like her lines are super rehearsed or a part of a shtick. Like, I do feel like she's like really talking to them. And so she's like, hey, guys, how are you?
How you doing? How's the weather? Let's sit down and stay in the view. How you guys doing this morning? She's very welcoming and she doesn't seem like she's trying too hard as I think if TJ and Jeff were the one hosting, oh my God, it would be a spectacular. It would be extra. So no, I'm loving Alex.
So we're not going to find out about what the outcome of looking at these dossiers yet. She's going to let everybody know that it's time for the next mission. And so they're going on a treasure hunt. So fun. This is what I love about the mole. It's all so fun. Like I would just be eating this up if I was on the show, just like all these different missions and activities. And it's just so fun. So there are 5 treasure chests that they need to find. They're each worth $2,000. They're going to be split into 2 teams. There's going to be a boat team and a plane team. Now, the plane team has to deliver equipment to the boat team so that they can retrieve the 5 cases that are at the bottom of the ocean. So William decides to take the lead here. How do you feel about William deciding who's on which team?
At this moment of the game, my suspicions on William are no longer that strong anymore, especially since he didn't read. I felt like he didn't read the dossier because like he just got up and he left. Like he didn't even like stick around. So him and Dom was like, we're not doing this. I'm like, okay, these guys are really interested in winning and putting money. So then my guards start lowering down. And also he is strategic person. He seems to be very smart, and he also likes taking control. So I have no issues with him stepping out at this moment. I'm like, go ahead, do what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm. I didn't mind it either because a lot of other people don't want to take on that role because like they don't want to either take on more suspicion or they don't want to screw like this. They're just like waiting to be told what to do for the most part, it seems. So
Yeah.
Joy wants to be in the water. I don't know why she wants to be in the water. Why does this woman want to be in the water? I didn't get it. Greg, we learned, doesn't trust Pranav, which I think is also interesting because I feel like Pranav is a trustworthy person, it seems to me. Like, what do you think?
He is a trustworthy person, but then again, the ones that you trust are the ones that are going to betray you the hardest. It's going to hurt more. So I am understanding why he doesn't trust them. And the second that people say they trust somebody, I automatically start questioning, what are you doing to gain all of these people's trust? So I understand why.
I would be trusting Pranav, to be honest, more than I'd be trusting. No, I might trust Greg too. He's kind of funny.
I would hang out with Greg. I would not trust him.
I'd be working with him just to see if I can gather information. And yes, I would hang out with him. So the boat team is going to consist of Will, Casey, Greg, Jacob, and Joy. And then the plane team is going to be Pranav, Avery, Dom, Kazi, and Sandy. Yeah. We have 90 minutes to retrieve as many of these cases, these treasure chests at the bottom of the ocean. So there's a small dinghy on the ground that the plane team has to find that has all of the equipment that they need to bring over to the boat team. So Avery wants to slow down this mission.
Michael.
Say again?
My girl.
Oh, you're an Avery fan?
That was nice. I was interested in what she's going to do. So I'm like, I was up for it. Whatever, let's just make sure that you succeed. So I was intrigued.
So Avery is like, oh, I feel sick. I feel sick.
I'm sick.
It's like, girl, get out of here. But like, whatever. She's trying something. She's trying to make herself look suspicious. Fine.
But seriously, which task would you have chosen? The plane or the boat?
I would have done the plane.
I also would have went to the plane, simply because I don't think I'm that good at diving that low. Fine, the water is not moving. It looks pretty still. It's all blue. Fine, but still, I don't know how low it is going to be, and I don't want to not being able to dive that low and then causing the team. So and besides, I'm black, guys. My hair.
Yeah,
no way. I'm getting my hair wet. So after the plane.
Yeah, I'd be up in the plane too.
But on the plane, I still would have been useless because I'll wear glasses. I'm like, how the hell am I going to sit down there?
Contacts on the mole. You would have contacts in. 100%.
Fine, but still, I will go with the plane.
So they're both looking and they're circling around, or they're all looking in the plane. They're circling around, and it seems as though Avery and Kazi both don't see the dinghy on the ground. And
here's where we need to talk about Kazi, because Avery, I understand her gameplay at this point. I'm pretty aware that she's not gonna sport it. She's gonna take her time, and she's, oh, I'm sick. I get it. Kazi, I feel like she might be the mole because she just sat there. I don't even see her looking outside the window. She's just seriously a passenger in that plane doing absolutely nothing.
So my friend Jonathan feels as though Cassie is the mole.
Yeah.
And the evidence that he brought out. So this is one of the reasons why from episode 2, I believe, that he thinks that Cassie is the mole. So when they were all in the different cells and Cassie gets out of her cell and she goes and she runs into the cell with the Bible in it to find that key. It was they didn't show her going in and finding that key because she probably just ran in directly and opened the Bible and got the key out because she was getting tipped off by production. So that's why he's thinking that they didn't show Cassie going in and getting the key. And I think he had one other prime example where he felt as though she had extra information that just didn't seem like she got from authentically. And then in this episode, so now I'm watching her now, right? And so the fact that she on this mission didn't see the dinghy, like, why are you so bad at everything? Like, I just don't understand when people are so bad at things. And so this mission is like, okay, you didn't see the dinghy, and Pranav just like looks over and sees the dinghy in like 1 second. So I was like, interesting.
Yeah, there was for me, the one you mentioned before, I didn't say it, so I had no comments on that, but I understand when you bring it up. But this is the first time we are looking at Katsi, and I'm like, girl, you're not even looking. At least Avery is looking and pretend she can't see anything and she's sick. Every time I looked at her, she was just like sitting there and looking around. I don't even think she was looking outside the plane. She was just like looking around, people talking. So I'm like, what are you doing? So that was the first sign. I'm like, something is wrong with this girl.
Yeah, that's what it's like frustrating with everybody, is that like I would be so much more frantic or trying to make money for the group, like, and it just seems like
you'd be like Dom.
So chill. I would not be like Dom. I'd be more like, I think I'd be
Casey.
More like Avery. Oh no, Casey. I'd be more like Casey, I think, but I wouldn't be doing the water stuff. So they do end up landing, and they go to the dinghy and they take all the equipment, and Dom's like, take everything, take everything, take everything. So they grab everything and they have to now run on foot to the boat team. Avery's messy though. She decides to just like drop it. Just drop the oxygen tank.
It's too heavy for me. Just
drop it. Like, oh, did you drop that? She's like,
yeah. Oh, classic. I love it. The girl doesn't feel they need to lie. She wanted everybody to know and be aware that she dropped that. And I trust someone like Dom to fall for that. But at the same time, I don't know how I would have felt. To be honest, I don't want to be too judgy on Dom, because I honestly would not know how I would have felt about it. But does it surprise me that Dom took the bait? Nah.
Exactly. Nah. But yeah, with Avery though, like, she's just so obvious. Like,
there's no way you are a mole.
Really good mole work is being an obvious non-mole. So that could be really smart. But I was just like, girl, like, you really want to look suspicious, but like, I think you're overplaying your hand here. But it seemed to have worked. We'll get to that soon. So Will somehow gets cut while he's diving. Avery drops the oxygen tank. Casey finds where the 4 crates are at the bottom of the ocean. And so it was kind of, they didn't have very much time left, but at least they knew where these crates were, because they had like a large kind of area to search to find them, and the water looked kind of murky. So Greg decides at this point, since now William
it's time to shine.
William can't go in the water, so he has to now go and help out. So he diapers the life jacket, and that diapering you do, like, basically put the life jacket upside down. You put your legs through where like kind of the arms would be upside down, and so it just sits around your torso like a diaper. Usually you do that when you're at the cottage and you just want to sit and have a cocktail, and you're outside and you're like chilling with your friends in the water, but you want to float, and so you put it on as a diaper. And so he goes with this, and he ends up dropping the oxygen tank to the bottom of the ground. What's this man doing?
Let me tell you, this is where I'm like, Drake is definitely the mole, because an episode before that, when they're like chilling, another episode before that, the same episode when they were chilling at the pool with Casey, and Drake is talking and whining, telling everybody that he's a perfect scuba diver, he's a king of scuba diving, blah, 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 blah. And then now you get a diaper to come on. I'm like, Greg, you are purposely sabotaging this mission right now. Mm-hmm. You are definitely the mole.
Okay, so that's who your number 1 person is?
No.
Oh.
This episode.
Okay.
Episode 3. I'm like, Greg, you are the mole.
Greg,
he's not even swimming like straight. He is doing black flip. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
He definitely is a little bit sketchy here for sure. So they are able to attach the inflation device to bring the case up, the treasure chest up to the surface. So they retrieved 1 treasure chest. Casey basically retrieved 1 treasure chest. So Casey now thinks that Greg could be the mole, kind of like you. His actions are a little bit sus here.
Don't trust him.
what did I write? Greg wants to get drunk. Oh. So after this mission comes back, they're back at like the resort house, and he's like, I just want this whole bottle. I want to get drunk. And then Alex comes in and wants to have one-on-ones with everybody. And that's what I love about this show. There's just like always something new that's coming up. And they're just like, what's this one-on-one? What's this? Oh, it's going to be about like whether or not they would have taken the money. Kathy says that she would have not have read it since they were offered a reward. Did they offer the reward before, like when they read it the first time, or was it after in these one-on-ones?
It was after. It was after. However, when somebody says your integrity will be rewarded, there's no clear way to tell you if you don't read, you're going to get a reward.
Yeah. So I would have definitely not have read it personally. Even if I was the mole, I would not have read it.
It's pointless if you're a mole.
Exactly. So people come in. Casey, I think we saw first. We get reminded that your integrity will be rewarded by Alex. Are you the mole? Or sorry, did you read it, Casey? And she says no. Dom, emphatically,
nope.
No. Greg, they didn't show him his answer yet. Avery, they didn't show her answer yet. Pranav, no. Sandy, no. Joy, Joy, like, I guess she was lying, and Alex is like, we have it all on camera. And so I don't even know what she ended up saying in the end. Oh, must have been yes. She must have said no. Sorry, she must have said no. So then we go back and we learn that Greg said no at first, and then after he said yes.
That is such a great thing to do.
Yes.
That is such a great thing to do. Like, he is here for attention. He's here for the show. He's giving us content. He's know it's been recorded. So my boy is gonna put on the show of his life. So I'm like, go ahead. For me, I was like, there is no way Greg didn't read it. I said, if he didn't read it, then he is the mole. If you read it, then he's not the mole. That was the only thing I was thinking.
Fair. Also, Avery, of course, is her response. So, of course, Avery read it. So, Alex gathers everybody back together and says, no, wait, hold on. No, I'm lying. So while she's having these one-on-ones, it's being cut back and forth. She's like, well, which one of your members do you think that would look? And well, how about you make a wager from the pot? And if you are correct with somebody that would look and that they did, the wager would come out of the group's money and you would get an exemption. So as somebody that did not look, how much would you have wagered on who to get an exemption, or not at all?
I can't. It must have been a typo.
Or would you not at all?
1,000.
1,000? But
yeah.
You didn't really get the exemption, probably.
No problem, because at that point I wasn't sure who read. There was no way I would have gotten the answer right. I was not confident as Joy was, so I would not have wagered so much money when I'm not
all on Greg sure. For the swimming, the backstroke swimming, or Avery dropping the tank, like.
Yes, but then I'm thinking those two are the mole, and why would a mole want to get that information? Doesn't make sense. So I'm already taking them out, because I'm like, if you are a mole, you don't need any information here.
We're not wagering on who we think is the mole. We're wagering on who we think looked at the dossiers.
Exactly. So I would never have said Drake or Avery, because in my mind, those two are the moles. So why would they bother reading?
Oh, I see.
The document? So I would not have done it, because out of those two, I have no one else.
I would have wagered $5,000 on Greg. This is what I would have
on Greg.
I think so. I'd be like, let's see, we'll do $5,000 on Greg, because it doesn't really, unless you win and you have the correct answer, it doesn't really matter. So I would have probably tried that personally.
Yeah.
So Alex has a shocked face when she sees the receipt of some of these bids. And I was
Rightfully
like,
so.
did someone bid all of the 28.5 that they had in the bank? That's what I thought that face said. I was like, oh my goodness. And I believe that was the end of the episode, correct?
It was just right before she came downstairs to announce what actually happened.
So, yeah, I think it was the end of the episode. So, the highest bid we learn is $25,000. They have
It was a typo.
28.5. Like, I honestly, okay, I get it. You want the exemption. Totally makes sense for you to want to go for it. I totally understand that. But also, the point of the game is to have money in the bank so that you can win it. What's the point of winning? No money.
Joy. Let me tell you, I need to ask Joy, where did she buy her pilot's degree at this point? Because I'm doubting her intelligence. Does that make sense? Did she purchase it, borrow it? Like, what's going on, girl? And she keep on saying, I want to win. Win what? $0?
The title, that's it. Like, definitely is not planning on winning any money. So Dom obviously was incredulous. It was like, what? Like, he was
rightful
so
reaction.
Pissed. I love though that Greg second guessed his decision, because he's like, wow, me reading that dossier gave my opponents the opportunity to win an exemption. And he's like, I don't want that. I want the information, absolutely, but I don't want to give my opponents some more, like, an opportunity to do better than me or get me out of this game. So I love that he had some reflection there and was like, oh, maybe that wasn't a good idea for me to do. So I really like Greg. I do.
Me too. Me too is entertaining.
So this bid was made by Joy. Oh, God. She made the bid of $25,000, and I think it was a mistake. Like, for her.
It really was a mistake, because from that point onwards, I think I agree with Avery. She lost all respect, whatever respect people had for her on her profession and being a mother and being an older person. All of that went out the window. She just screamed stupid, like idiot. Like, there was a dumb move for you to make. Yes, now you get exempt, you're staying here, but at what cost? And you want to win. Win what? $3,000?
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'll get it back, guys. And everyone's like, go, you have lost each and every single challenge you were in. You are in no position to say you get anything back. You will lose every single challenge. And what is her gameplay? She refuses to tell people what her gameplay is. That's fine, don't tell us. But whatever it is, it does not make any sense. It's not intelligent. And if you're not the mole, you should leave soon. And I'm just like, get her out of here. She's just dead weight to me at this point. She's dead weight.
I'm with you here. A lot of people in the chat are Joy fans, thinking that she's a villain, which I understand that for sure. Hi, Adu Ray. I like Joy, but I think that her as the villain is too predictable. I have a feeling that it's Will. I don't think Joy is the mole. I think like it's too obvious, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like, she's too desperate to stay in the game. Like, I get it. If she's the mole, she wants to lose as much money as possible. I get that. But like, I don't know. I think that the mole would have a little more finesse than this. It's just, the bid is too high. You're taking too much money from the pot. Like, it's just doesn't make any sense to me why she would take that much money from the pot.
And that is a moment where I said, I don't think Joy is the mole anymore. That moment made me doubt her even less. Like, I don't think it's a mole.
So Adrian saying to Alicia, even though Joy's bid was insane, the fact that the other players don't respect how she plays so selfishly, but like, at the end of the day, yeah, oh great, there's going to be one winner, but like, can't they want to have money in the pot? Like, I don't think people mind playing selfishly, and like, would understand if someone took $5,000 for an exemption. It's the fact that she cleared out the entire bank. That's everybody's money, including hers if she wins. So it's kind of like, it doesn't make any sense her wanting to stay in the game to play for no money. And so I understand why they think it's selfish, because it's like, you are only staying in the game for you, but none of us, if we get to the end, has any money because of you. And like, that would piss me the F off. It would piss me off. So I don't know why I have a gut feeling that there's 2 moles this season.
I'm with you. I am with her. I really feel like they are hiding. There's somebody else gonna be a mole. I really just don't feel like there's only one. And if they ever announce that they lied and there are 2 moles, I will not be surprised, because the things that I'm doing, I'm like, there must be more than one person working here. But if there's only one person, they are doing a really, really good job. Jacob.
Okay, that's.
I didn't say anything.
Huh?
I didn't say anything.
So Adrian's a Joy stan, it seems. Joy said that she wasn't confident in going into the next quiz. Yeah, I get it. I get wanting the exemption. I am not behooving her for wanting to have the exemption. It's the fact,
the money,
the amount of money that she took from everybody in order for her to get the exemption, and that doesn't show up back in the game. And the fact that she's not good at any of these missions to be bringing more money in. Like, if she was the MVP of the season and
like,
being like, listen, guys, I'll help you get it back, because and it has been bringing a lot of the money to the game, I'd be fine with it. But she hasn't brought a single cent, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it helped being part of the prison breaks. She, her doing push-ups in the cell was helpful. Like, she wasn't even helpful in that mission. Oh my God, she's so annoying.
No, she hasn't been helpful in anything. They had to give her 5 more minutes so she can put the stew together a little bit pretty after she just sits up the entire time. Like, no, she hasn't done anything. So it's frustrating.
Well, Alicia says spending her money as far as she is concerned. Okay, fine. She wants to win the game. She spend her money on winning the game, but she won't have any money. Spend
your money on a joy. It's yours already. Spend it. I like this comment.
So whenever exemptions gets brought up, Joy is going to take it the first chance she gets. But you know what, though? I mean, hopefully it'll be interesting, but I hope that the other players are going to know that Joy is just out to get the exemption, and they'll try to bamboozle her, because I think it's going to be everybody against Joy after episode 5. Like, I think that people are not going to allow her to get all the exemptions and eat up all the money. People be too pissed off. So obviously Avery is pissed at Joy. Everybody's pretty much pissed, but Avery is definitely vocalizing like that she sucks at missions and she's selfish. And I get it. I'd be pissed if I was Avery as well, because a lot of people would want the exemption, but they were thinking about the group and wanting to keep like, what's the point of doing the missions if you are just going to lose all the money?
Yeah.
So we learned some questions about this particular quiz. So, which zodiac sign is the mole? I'm like, I want to know everybody's zodiac sign. Like, where's these conversations? I want to know. I mean, I haven't looked yet. So if you guys know in the chat anybody's signs, I would love to know people's signs. It'll probably help me understand how they're playing and whether or not they're the mole or not by how they do certain things. So I would love to know people's sign. I haven't looked at Wiki yet, but if anybody knows, I would love to hear.
I hope the mole is a Gemini.
I hope
I'm a Gemini.
So, I mean, I really hope the mole is an air sign. I'll support that. So that would be me, you, or Libras. That would be my ideal mole, because they're going to be the most thinky, heady. Definitely. The other question was, which transport team was the mole on for the mission? Did the mole receive an exemption?
No.
Where was the mole as Alex arrived? Were they inside or outside? And we start the quiz. Jacob, green. Avery, green. Dom, red. I feel bad for Dom, but
I don't.
Avery just really played him. How did he fall for that?
And that's the fact. But then you have to, I think we said it on the first review, that Dom doesn't strike me as someone who's extremely intelligent, just like Aussie. So him falling for something so a trick like that,
basic.
and then narrowing everything down to Avery. Because when he was answering his question and doing his confessions as well, you can tell that he decided that the mole was Avery. So the strategy of spreading things around to be safe went out the window. He actually did exactly what RC did on his first quiz, and there was zero in on one person. That was his mistake to make, and don't feel sorry
Never
for
do
you.
that.
You got played.
You
You're
can't do
out.
that until the very end, to be honest, of the game. Because if you're wrong, so my friend of mine, she played, we like this group that we kind of play different live reality games with. They have put on a live version of the mole, and so my friend was playing the mole live, and she thought it was 100% somebody, and she kept on getting the questions right, and she was splitting some of her answers or whatnot, but she really thought the mole was one particular person, and she just happened to do the quiz a little bit better than other people, but she was always wrong with who she thought the mole was until the very end when it was the final three, and she guessed who the mole was, and she was completely wrong and lost the game because she thought that she knew the whole time, but she only got like maybe one question better than the person that went out with her, like went out before. And so that's kind of how you stay in the game, is like getting one question better than the person that goes
The
out
last person. Yeah.
until you get to the end where you had to like go all in on somebody and you get to see if you're right or wrong. But before then, going all in is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Very
So
dangerous.
for me, I was impressed with Avery because I'm like, okay, that's when I was like, okay, girl, I like you already. But at this moment, I'm giving you thumbs up. You are definitely not the mole. So she's out of my mole list. Don't suspect her at all. I'm just rooting for her to go as far as she can because I really think she's capable of going all the way. And I trust her judgment a little bit more now. That move and how it played out. And maybe Dom didn't narrow in on Avery, but based on the confession, that's what he said he did. So we have to go with what he told us he did, and all credit to Avery. So good play, girl. That was lovely. I like it.
That's smart. That's what you want to do. You want people to think that you're the mole so that they go all in on you and take themselves out of the game. Like that is an effective strategy of a player in the game. So I don't remember who said this, but it was poetic. The person who cares the most about the money and winning is out, and the person who does the least got an exemption.
It was Pravan.
Oh, I love him.
The intelligent dude. He said that, and I like the fact that he did not say it in the confession. He said it in the table, in her face, for her to hear and see exactly how it feels. And it was like, thank you, because at that moment, she needs to know how she's making people feel.
Absolutely.
That's it.
I respect people wanting to do things for their family and wanting to win and doing anything at all costs. But when you're trying to win money, you want to keep money in the pot. That's it. The fact that
and you don't
at all costs, like all costs is you're winning, your prize money.
And also, people need to stop thinking that we live in the world where everybody has to dance for you. If I don't like the way you're dancing, I'm not clapping. So stop expecting people to like clap every time you do something. I allow me to be honest about how I feel every single point of the way. So I'm okay with Pravan and Avery letting it know exactly how they feel. We don't want to clap for you. We don't want to cuddle you. You piss us off with purse to purse. Deal with it.
Absolutely. I think that she needs to reap what she sows here. Hi, Miss Brown Sugar. Miss Brown Sugar says, I like the bowl so far, but it could use some tweets. Most notably, can we see these people talking about anything besides mission? Can we learn anything about them? I totally agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to know their zodiac signs. Come on. I want to know if they have siblings. Do they have pets? What's their pets like? Like, I do want to hear some of this information that they're extracting from people. And so I'm with you. But I think it's Netflix not allowing us to see these things because they think it's boring. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah.
So Alicia is looking forward to episode 6. I know everyone is going to be mad. I forget where we are at right now, so I don't remember what's the cliffhanger. I couldn't trust Greg at all. Not sure he's the mole, but I'm sure he gets a kick out of being messy.
Yes. That's my boy. I feel like he's performing for us. He knows he's filming a reality show,
Yep.
and he's having a good time, and I'm having a good time with him. But at this point, I'm not certain if he is the mole or not on this episode.
I don't think that he's the mole, but I think that he's messy. I agree, and I
this
think that I
episode,
enjoy him.
On this episode that we are on right now, is episode
5.
No.
What happens here?
We are in episode 3. We're about to get to episode 4.
No, we already passed episode 4. Because now we're going to be going to Ravenswood. We're at the beginning of episode 4. Because the quiz was at the beginning of episode 4. When we learned about the $25,000 was at the beginning of episode 4.
Yeah, so we're in episode 4
right?
now. We are going to start episode 4 because Dom is gone. We just said Dom is gone.
Correct.
So that's over. Now we're going to start the next chapter.
Adrian wants to know from Alicia, but we can answer this as well. Any male suspects for you so far? So Zoe, who's your male suspects?
We do, but I want to get past the time where we do the bank scene before I drop who the mole is.
Absolutely. But Alicia says Casey, Kazi, and Jacob. What about you, Adrian? Those people are
I'm with you, Alicia.
I'm taking Casey out of there, but Kazi and Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see with glasses context, I think. I think that was from before. Top. Oh, Adrian's top is Casey. Interesting. Kazi is high on my list.
Very, very high.
Very high. Also, not seeing the key on the key ring was pretty sus.
That's the old one. That's back. That's back.
As mole or not, she's my winner pick. Who? Casey?
Casey. Just like talking about Casey.
Hi, Dan. The ones that I'm sure that is not the mole is Pranav, Avery, and William. I agree.
1000%.
Right now, I don't think any of them are the mole. I think that they're really smart game. Well, I don't know if William's a smart game player, but he's good at the missions. Yeah. Pranav and Avery, I think that they're both very smart game players, especially even Pranav talking about like Avery on the plane mission when he's just kind of like, I don't think she's the mole. I think she's trying to be the mole here. Like, she tells me enough stuff, so that's been accurate. So I love that he still trusts her, even though he's wary of her, and like he sees her for who she is. So I definitely like those two as a duo. But I don't think any of them are the mole. I agree. Does anyone know if there's a maximum or minimum award for winning? Good question. If there's a minimum of like $100,000, no matter what, well, then what does it matter than these missions? That could be incentive for Joy. If there's
I think maybe the minimum will be whatever that's on the pod, and whoever wins, there's gonna be like the big prize that's added onto that. That will make sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like there's a baseline, and then on top of it, how much you win from the missions. So where are we on this? Okay, we're going to Ravenswood.
At the episode 4.
So we're going to Ravenswood, and they're driving out to some kind of hotel bar, and they're cheersing to Dom. And Dom is driving to the airport, and they pull over, and he gets a phone call from Alex. And basically, he needs to figure out what this password is, and he will be able to return to the game and win $10,000 for the pot. So what he needs to do is he needs to ask all the people that are inside the hotel, the people who are still left in the game, his former players or allies or whatever, and get them to answer questions so he can narrow down different cities, because on the bumper of his vehicle is a city or a word. And in this case, it was Seattle. And if he's able to put in this password, he will return to the game and win $10,000. So he gets on the walkie-talkie and he starts talking to his former players. And at first, they're all super into it. They're like, oh my God, it's Dom. Oh my God, is he really here? Is he really here? And he starts asking them questions. And they helped him out. And they gave them, and he was able to cross out some of the answers. And he goes, like, oh, where's my girl Sandy? Sandy. And he asks Sandy a question.
And Sandy's like, nope. Oh, nope. I want to know, Adrian, is this the episode where you couldn't wait for me to get to? Because to me, this is the episode that had me going, oh my God, Sandy, you little, you little girl, you little naughty, naughty girl. And I loved it. It blew my mind because I did not see it coming for a second. Out of everyone there, Sandy was the last person that I thought would say, no, don't bring him back. And when she started talking, after I got over the shock and just listening to her reasoning, it made so much sense. He already knows who the mole is, already knows the mistake he made.
The mole isn't.
Exactly, he knows who it isn't. So he's one step ahead of everyone. He knows where he went wrong. So
I personally,
and you already got rid of one person. So why bring him back?
Fine. Sorry, Dom personally, I think would have been fine to bring back in because it shows that he does not know who the mole is and that he doesn't know how. It's so easy for him to just decide on somebody and get taken out of the game. I wouldn't be threatened by Dom coming back into the game. I would have convinced everybody to take that money because I'm like, we are at $3,500. Who cares if we win the game if there's no money in the pot? So I would have taken the risk because I wouldn't think that Dom was a strong competitor. Like in the fact that like I just don't think he knows how to deduce who the mole is. And he's an honest player. I think that if you were working with him, he would give you the information that he had. So I would have kept him in the game. But Sandy does not want him to have the upper hand. Then Casey agrees. Then Jacob doesn't want him to come back. I was like, whoa, since when did you get so adamant about things? Like, he's so easygoing. I never left the country. Like, fireman. And like now he's so adamant about not having Dom come back. I was like, okay. Pranav was on the fence. Kazi says yes. So Kazi wanted him to come back. I'm like, interesting.
Kazi and Joy are the only two people who vocally said we want him back. William was on the fence and everybody else said no. So for me, I would have been on the list of people who would have said no. You're out, you're out. Let's move on with the game. There's no need for this.
It's not the you're out part, though. It's the $10,000 that I would want to bank for the team.
I understand that. And I understand why Joy said, let's bring him back.
We broke. So Avery says no. Greg says no. So the group consensus is a no. But Dom is still able to do process of elimination with the information that he already has to see if he can narrow it down himself. And he narrowed it down to 2 cities. So it was Seattle and Malore.
Mammoth. That was the first time I ever heard this city in the United States. I'm like, where the hell is it? It must be somewhere in the north. I don't know. Where's Mammoth, guys? Help the South African girl out.
And I have no idea.
If I was Dom and I was there for those 2 options, I would have went with Seattle because that's a city that I know and heard of. I would have not have chosen Melmoth because I'm like, I've never heard of the city. So there was no way I would have chosen simply because I've never heard of it.
Exactly. I would have chosen Seattle because I never heard of it. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. But
so what does everybody in the chat think? Would they have brought Dom back or let him go? I'm interested. Adrian, Kathy, what would you guys have done?
Oh, and then after though, I was irritated though. Sandy's like, oh, I feel bad.
Like,
you don't feel
whatever.
Bad. So we have the next mission. So Alex Jones arrives again to give them their mission, and it's going to be a bank heist.
Yes. And so before we get to the bank heist, this was the moment where my eyes was stuck on Sandy because she's very quiet. I'm like, she's a less person suspect. I'm like, these are all the molish behavior. So my eyes are completely fixed on Sandy from this point going forward.
I just thought that Sandy made a dumb decision. I think. I mean, I know that I understand not wanting to bring another player back. Totally get that. But I feel like how she quickly just like turned her back on her friend when that information could have actually helped her. And I don't know. I just thought that she made the wrong decision for herself in kind of like a selfish fashion, because her starting it off like allowed everybody to feel okay with being like, no, 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 no. But I think that if she had said yes, I think more people would have said yes. So the fact that she felt bad about it after, I was like, I don't even think you know who the mole is. So I don't know. I was like, I don't know if this was a good decision for you.
Yeah.
So they have to choose which two players are the best critical thinkers. So Will wants Avery and Pranav, and separate. And Kazi, they end up deciding that it's going to be Kazi and Pranav. What do you think about the decision of having Kazi and Pranav be the two critical thinkers?
At that time, I approve of it. I understood it. They are both very smart people, critical thinkers. That's what they need. So yeah, let's go for it. And separating Avery and Pranav, yeah, they're too close. Separate them. Whatever, go with it. I didn't mind it at all.
Oh, so sorry. This is I'm kind of filtering through past comments. So Adrian had said, yeah, that's weird how Kazi was the only one from D Block that had a cell phone for the hint. Yeah, I know. That was another thing that we were talking about. It's like, why is she the only one that has a phone? And how come she didn't see this phone like under the mattress already? And nobody else had a phone in their room? Sketch.
Because everybody else told their rooms apart, and there was no single cell phone inside. Okay, now I understand why Jonathan think Kwasi is the mole.
So Kazi and Pranav are going to be the two best critical thinkers. They're both engineers. And I was like, okay, I want to see Kazi in a role here because now she's a big suspect for me. So Pranav is going to be, they have to decide who's going to be on what team. So the two teams are going to be either cash or gold. So on the cash team, Pranav has Avery, Jacob, and Sandy. And on the gold team has Kazi's team, the gold team has Will, Casey, Joy, and Greg. So which team would you have wanted to be on? I would have wanted to be on the gold. I think gold is easier in the end.
At first, before I knew that the money was in different currencies, I would have went to the money. But once I got there and I was told that it's a different currency, I was like, holy moly.
Yeah,
this is actually proper magic.
To do it. Like I like organizing and sorting and stuff like that. Like it would satisfy like my like analytical brain. So I would probably enjoy that one, but I think that I think I would be in Kazi's position, and so I think we would have ended up winning that mission because like it was very easy. So what they had to do. So the gold team has a bunch of keys, a bunch of safety deposit boxes, and then Kazi, as the critical thinker, has a list of all the different names and the safety deposit boxes. And they need to find, I believe it was 10 safety deposit boxes that have gold in it for them to take home some money. And then with the money team, with the cash team, they needed to organize the money and deposit in a bag or whatever exactly $10,000 in different currencies. And Pranav had the exchange rates for the different countries, money denominations. So I think Pranav's job was harder than Kazi.
Yeah,
for sure.
Especially if you don't even have a calculator and you have to do the math by head and you do the currency, yeah, it was a little bit harder. However, I had faith in him because I'm like, he's very smart to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, he was definitely did it. I mean, maybe he did have a calculator we just didn't see, but his was a lot harder. So they had to steal $10,000 worth of gold. First, navigating through the lasers. That was fun.
Yeah, I actually like that. It's like a real James Bond moment. And as always, Drake comes in with the comedy, guys. And it's like, oh my God, like the way he was describing his move. And then the last point is like, squeeze in because, I mean,
It's bikini season.
Getting in a Speedo in New Jersey. I'm like, yes, girl, yes, winner. Do your
so
thing.
funny. Yeah, because he's like
gymnastic cobra. Love it.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I've got gymnastics training. I'm very agile, and then I'm gonna go down. I do yoga, and I'm gonna go down into chaturanga as I pull myself through into cobra. Like I'm just like, he's so funny.
I'm like, did he have somebody write this lines for him, or he's just that good? Like, he's so interesting. He's funny to me. I'll enjoy hanging out with him. Like, he's my type of person.
I totally agree. He's my type of person too. Totally agree. So that team is going to be finding these $1,000 lock boxes with the gold inside of it. They touched one laser. I didn't hear what the penalty would have been for more than one laser. Did they state that? Do you know?
No. And it didn't matter anyway. Nobody did it. So
we're getting to the counting money group, the cash group. And we learned that Jacob is making money mistakes, counting he's like, oh, that's a stack of 50. And Avery is noticing that his stack of 50 is a stack of 51 or a stack of 49 or a stack of 52. Even if I was the mole, or if I was counting stacks of 50, I would count it more than once. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Is this so that moment for me is the moment I'm like, I really think that Jacob is the mole. Hey, Diva. Like, because I just couldn't understand how can you just suddenly add 1 and 2s on top of 50s. Like, you're counting money. Like, guys, counting money is not that hard. It's a currency that's going to be harder. So I don't understand how you can't just stack up 50s and 100s and 20s and figure it out. It was just...
Pranav's a Cancer?
It was really annoying.
He doesn't seem like a Cancer to me. He doesn't seem emotional. Maybe I don't know him well enough yet. Really? Well, thank you, Sean. 1 down, like 11 to go. Thank you so much. So yeah, I was really irritated by like people not trying to be more accurate, whether they're the mole or not. Like I would just be so meticulous about, like, I would put all the heads in the right direction. Like I would be like making the stats like 100%. I'd be like, double check this for me, double check that. You know what I mean? Like I would just have an assembly line of people double checking my work. And so the fact that he was like so sure about his miscounted piles,
Money.
I was like,
I like my girl Avery being smart enough to double check the work and actually pick that out. I really think that was once again letting me know that Avery is here to play and her mind is in the game every single moment of it.
Oh shoot, did I say Alex Jones? Did I write down Alex Jones? Oh no. I wrote down Alex Jones. And I said Alex Jones. I'm sorry, not Alex Jones. No,
Alex Wagner.
Alex Wagner. I'm so sorry, guys. Don't want to traumatize anybody. Then with the other group, the gold group, they like, I don't know if they're just showing it to us and so it seems super obvious, but if I'm not mistaken, weren't all the gold names written in like yellow?
No.
Well, at least G Lock was.
No, I think that was editing highlighting it to us, because I don't think there was just them highlighting to us. It's a matter of knowing what Goldilocks means, El Dorado, and picking those things up. I definitely would have gotten El Dorado because I've been thinking that's a mythical gold city. Like I'm into movies, American movies. Everybody, I feel like for me, I would have picked only that one up because of the city.
I would have picked up any name that sounded interesting. Like it wasn't just like Jones or wasn't Smith. Like El Dorado, I'd be like, interesting. G Locks, I'm like, maybe let's try Lock. It has Lock in the title. We're trying to open things.
That's like every single time they went to Lost, because I have no idea what Goldilocks is, but when they showed it, it stood up to me because I'm thinking, lock, open the lock. Here's a lock. You know, I think I would have picked it up simply because of the word lock.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Basically, Goldilocks has like blondie gold hair, like so just
Oh.
golden locks. Goldilocks. So and if I just seen the word lock, I would definitely be tipped off. Like, hey, why don't we try this one? Right?
Oh yeah, I agree with you. For me, it would have been Locke simply because of the name Locke, and then El Dorado because of the city. Anything else after that, don't test me. I have no idea. What only thing that frustrated me with her in this game is that she wasn't willing to switch up her strategy where she can see that it wasn't working. We have tried the number part, just giving them numbers and then finding the key. Okay, how about now you just read out the names? She did read out here and there, but she wasn't consistent in giving people time to even like hear the name and think of something. She wasn't patient with the strategy. It seemed like she just didn't want to move from her failing strategy, and that was the most
she just
annoying.
sat there and just like, well, just keep trying, guys. Just keep trying. Just keep trying different keys. Like, obviously, you have information that they do not have that should be able to help them. You're not going to be sitting there for no reason just to be motivating them over like a PA. Like, just be like, if it were me, I would be like, okay, try this. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna see if there's a name that stands out. Okay, try this. Like, I would just try different things, or I would read out all the names, like you said.
I was at the point where I'm like, why can't you read out all the names? Especially when William said, read out all the names. Maybe some names will stick up to us. It's only 3 pages. We have an hour. Girl, it can take you 10 minutes to read all the names down along with their numbers. Goldilocks 189. Ring a bell, nothing. J. Smith 789. Read the name. Maybe something will pop up. The fact that William recommended that and she didn't do it, and even she did, it was like 1-2 names here and there, and then she left it. I was like, okay, girl, are you sure you are computer analysis? Because I'm starting to doubt your intelligence too at this point.
She's a kid, or she's the mole, right? So
so that's when she went higher up on the, not higher up, but it was the first moment where I actually started looking at Kwasi. Because I wasn't looking at her in that way prior to the bank heist. So in this episode, I'm looking at Jacob and I'm looking at Kwasi.
So another person that was a little bit sus was Sandy. So she was counting out notes and she says, okay, these are
$500. Meanwhile, it was 50.
And I was like, it's a $50,000 note. Like, what is she trying to do? Is she trying to throw this mission? Because I don't think that she's the mole. And so I was like, what's happening there? Like, is she trying to put suspicion on herself? And he does clarify. He's like, okay, so these are $500,000 notes. She's like, oh, no, they're 50,000. And so I was like, okay, girl. So
I was looking at how funny too.
The cash team does seem to have separated everything enough, done the conversions, and they think that they have $10,000. The gold team in their time frame did not get one lock box, not a one.
It was embarrassing.
It's just really annoying. Like, I get it, Mole. I get it, the Mole. You don't want people to win any money, but like, I just think that this was too much. Like, I think that she's the mole now, 100%. I think Cassie's the mole for sure.
So wait. Are you saying you 100% think that she's the mole?
Yes. After being like, oh my God, I would never even have thought of that. Like, how would you have never have thought of that? Like, you're playing an escape room. You think of every single possible thing. Like, just to be like, oh, like, you are an engineer. Like, you have to do analysis of different things. Like, I don't know what it takes to be an engineer, but like, I feel like you're solving like equations or like making things make sense. You know what I mean? Like,
for me, it was the fact that she's American and didn't get El Dorado, and I'm South African and I did. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Even I know that.
It's not to find any sort of commonality to be able to figure it out. It's just too dumb or mole. That's just it. And another thing that tipped me off, I don't know which episode it was, but her reaction sometimes to certain things, she's like laughing, or she's just like I just don't necessarily feel her reaction is the reaction of somebody whose money has been taken from them. You know what I mean? Like, so
I agree with you. I don't know how to say this without being rude, or I don't know. It's hard for me to relate to her facial expressions and the way that she talks and presents things. She comes off very emotionless and extremely boring.
wow,
Avery
Avery is
is
a
a
Taurus.
Taurus.
Interesting. That's why she gets along with Pranav, because those two, Taurus and Cancer, were really good together. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Thing is, reactions to me, she's very boring, very emotionless, and very. I find it to be. I find her personality too sweet, but too fake at the same time. I can't relate to her in anything in challenges, and she doesn't do anything. So
She's just
yeah.
she's so bad that she has to be the mole, because I do not believe that a person will be as bad at these missions as she is. I just don't believe it. If she's doing it to make it look like she's the mole, like I don't think she's doing it well. So like she has to be the mole, and just being she's a bad mole. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that could possibly make sense to me. Because, like, if she had just maybe found one, and then them being like, oh, like, is there any other names like that? And she just starts reading names and just skips the other ones. Like, she'll let them win $1,000, but like not let them win all of the money or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, she could definitely have made it less obvious. But I just, at this point, I think she's 100% the mole.
And as her team is getting smaller, it comes out very clear how she just doesn't do anything. Because in the past episode, I wasn't really focusing on her that much because she wasn't doing anything. And then
Well,
now
she
it's just
wasn't
getting
looking out the
worse.
window. She wasn't.
And
She,
it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Especially when the episode 5, when we get there, there's also something that she did that just pissed me off even more with cutscenes. But yeah, we get there.
So Kathy wants to know why the gold team didn't just take a key ring and just each and just start opening boxes. They just stood around. I don't know.
No, either.
I don't know.
I think they didn't want to waste their time and waste their energy, and also because these people are relying so much on people's careers as measure of intelligence, they are just thinking Kati will figure it out. She'll figure it out. She'll give instructions. She'll figure it out. And also, whenever suggestions were made, like when William was suggesting read all the numbers out, and he didn't. I think people got frustrated. I would be frustrated too if I'm actually proposing things and you're not doing anything.
Yes, Miss Brown Sugar, for sure. Though the cash team, it's super easy to sabotage that mission. Just because, yeah, it's very easy to miscount, even if you're trying to do it correctly. It's very easy to miscount. Look at Sandy; she says 500,000 instead of 50,000. We know she's not the mole, and she made that mistake. So it's definitely very easy to make mistakes counting money, for sure.
Yeah.
So easy to sabotage, for sure. So once the time is up, the cash team does take their cash and they exit the bank and slowly moseys out the gold team, who did not win their mission at all.
They
So they
are
go back to
broke.
the saloon, and again I wrote Alex joins, but not Alex Jones. Alex joins, and she lets them know that there were some obvious tells of some of the names of the security boxes. So G-Locks, as we've mentioned, El Dorado, K Midas. And I was like, I know that they were highlighting them, but I just feel like I would have checked those names. I'd be like, stands out to me. So the cash team is counted to see how much they got. They need to get exactly $10,000 on the dot, or they do not win the mission. And they had $10,678 and something cents. 50 cents? 50 cents.
Yeah.
So they did not get this mission accomplished. So yes, it's bad day for most of you. It's a good day for the mole because they didn't win any money for the pot. So it's quiz time. The only questions that we saw, I believe, was what group was the mole in? What was the mole's first pet? Did the mole play darts at the, I guess, at the saloon or whatever? Was the mole sitting or standing at the whiskey bar? And so Avery now is all eyes on Jacob because of the fact that she caught him not putting the correct denominations of money in piles. And so she's not going to tell anybody about the fact that she suspects Jacob here. She kept it all to herself, which I think is
I would have done the same. Keep it to yourself and then see how it goes. My favorite moment in this scene was William's reaction to Kwati not figuring anything out. I'm like, I'm with you, bro. I am with you.
So when I was thinking she goes all in on Jacob, though, I was thinking, I don't think Jacob is the mole. I know you're kind of onto him, but I don't think he's the mole. I think that he's just like not that smart. Sorry, Jacob. But I thought that when she was like going all in on Jacob, I'm like, is she going? Is she going? So Avery, though, has her name put in first. It goes green. Cassie, well, she's the mole, so it's always going to go green, but goes green. Sandy, red. And I just kind of felt it was a little bit just deserved. She should have maybe allowed her friend to come back. And he might have been able to help her and maybe said like, hey, this is who I put all my questions on, and give her some of that information, and she might not have gone home. So I think that karma.
Mm-hmm. Karma. That was my favorite episode because I'm like, I love it when people get what they deserve, and she got exactly what she deserved. Justice was served, and one less person for me to worry about. Sandy's out, so I know for a fact it wasn't Sandy. Let's move on. So I'm with Avery right now. My eyes are glued on Jacob.
Thanks, Sean. So your eyes are on Jacob. My eyes are still on Cassie. So Sean says that Cassie answered questions on her IG story. Her birthday is this Friday. She's a Libra. Yes, we're still in Libra. I like a Libra, but Libras are smarter than this. Libras are all brains. They're heady. I know that they are. It's difficult for them to make decisions, but they still are an air sign, which means that they think about things. They think. Wait. I thought it was for us, not for Cassie. Oh, the highlighting, I think.
Yeah, that was for us. She didn't see that.
I thought that she saw that, and I was like, damn girl.
If she did, she would have been the dumbest person in the room. But when they were like showing that highlighting, you can see it was just like same written. There was no highlight.
Yeah,
just a matter of how reading them.
Well, that was like also just made me so like even more mad. I'm like, is it highlighted that she couldn't just guess? Like, I was so Gimpy, they're going to Gimpy, and Alex is there, and they're at a mail train, and the mission is a mail run. So they're going to be separated into three groups. One group is going to be traveling by foot, the other by rail, the other by car. So the people that are traveling by foot, they're going to need endurance, and they're going to have to retrieve 3 parcels. People by rail, they're going to have nerves of steel and also retrieving 3 parcels. And by car, navigation. I wrote down 3 parcels as well, but I feel like it was different, but I'm not sure. So the car and foot team must make it back to the mail station and beat the train. So before the train, for them to all win $18,000 if they get all their bags, all their parcels. So I was like, okay, this will be interesting. I got my eyes on some people. Let's see how they
Which one would you have taken? Train, car, or
I would have
foot?
Car.
I would have taken car or train. I would have never went for jogging. I'm not that active, guys. I don't even run at the gym, okay? I walk on a treadmill. I don't run.
Casey's birthday. I knew she'd be Aquarius. That's why I like Casey. Yes,
Casey.
Aquarius. Yes, nice. Aquarius, Casey. Thank you, Sean. I'm obsessed with knowing these birthdays. Kathy, I'm a Taurus. That makes sense why I get Avery. Nice. And you know, it's interesting. I wonder. I bet you that William is like a Virgo or something, because
Or
air
Gemini.
air signs usually don't like the body as much as like water and earth signs, right? So like the fact that the people went for the running task were Pranav, if he is a Cancer, and an Avery, who's a Taurus, which is an earth sign. Those signs tend to be more about the body than earth signs, which is usually about the head and thinking. And fire signs are just like, well, fire signs might be a little bit active as well, but air signs, I wouldn't expect them to be air signs.
Mm-hmm.
So the people, which one? Oh yeah, you used to do train or car. So Joy and Jacob. Joy wants to be in the car. I'm like, Joy, you can't read a damn map.
Dude, somebody needs to take a map from her. Girl, you can't read a map. Leave it alone. Okay, you died with maps.
Done. No more maps for you. Like if you want to read, if you want to do something, I'm gonna be like, you know what, Joy, you don't have a really good assessment of your skills, so we're not going to allow you to do that because you don't read maps well. So we're not going to give you the reading map portion of this task.
But at the same time, seeing Jacob and Joy together was pretty much interesting for me because I'm like, the mole and the most reckless player in the game together. Jesus, this is going to be one hell of a trip. Hi, Marco Polo.
Hi, Marco.
So I'm like, this is going to be one hell of a trip. They are definitely going to lose. No matter what happened, they are going to lose. Who keeps giving Joy the map?
Who keeps giving Joy the map? Because she's far from Dora.
She doesn't know how to explore.
Terrible explorer. No explorer. Joy, yes, she's giving so much, but she's pissing me off. Okay, she's pissing me off. I get it; it's entertaining, but like the gamer in me, and if I was playing with her, like she would drive me mental. Obviously, as an entertaining personality, like
it's amazing.
Great, you are great. Like you're so frustrating. But as a player, I'd just be like, I'd want to murder her, to be honest. I would never.
Joy for me is Josh of the challenge. Good for entertainment to drive you crazy, but as a competitor, oh no, get him out of here.
Oh, Marco, she does, but she can do it from the front seat. Yeah, she should be driving. And well, I don't even know. I don't know. So Jacob, he says like he wants to do the driving part because he's been a firefighter, so he drives a lot. So they're driving. Will and Pranav and Avery are going by foot, so they're going to be doing the running. And Greg, Avery, and Casey are going to be doing the train. So the train needs to collect 3 bags at $2,000 each. And Greg is up there first, and he gets the first one. I was like,
that's my boy.
Yes,
and
Greg,
at this point, I'm like, yeah, he's doing it. And then here comes Quincy, drops it. I'm like, girl. At that point, that's when I'm like, okay, you know what?
I thought it was good though that Greg was like, hey, let's see what Quasi does here. So I think Greg's onto Quasi as well, or is it?
Yes. And then when Drake said that, that is when my Quincy radar went even higher because I'm like, okay, girl, I'm looking at Jacob and now I'm looking at Quincy as the 2 biggest small. Joy at this point, I'm over her. However, there is something that I'm over Joy. I don't think she's a model at all. I'm just stuck on Quincy and Jacob on this episode. So
I can see Jacob as well, but I'm more in on Joy. Just be not sorry, Joy. Quasi, because she. Like, I was like, there is no way that Kazi is going to make. Like, I knew 100% she was not going to get this bag. I just knew. Yeah. I just knew. And
you didn't even root for her. It was just like, okay, let's prove Drake right. She's gonna drop it, right? She drops it. Hallelujah. Let's keep it moving. But at the same time, now I'm looking at Jacob, who is letting a person that we know for a fact cannot read a map. I'm like, okay, listen, she can drive. Okay, she can drive a plane. She can drive a car. Let her drive and you read the map. So when one of the people say there must be 2 moles over here, I'm looking at Quatin and I'm looking at Jacob because Jacob's decision also just did not make any sense. And I also felt like he might have been trying to put more spotlight on Joy. Like if they will lose, then everybody will just say, yeah, it's Joy. We all know that Joy is a mole.
I don't think she's a mole at all. But I would not. Maybe what Jacob is doing. I don't think he's the mole, but he is a high up suspect. But maybe what he's doing, he's trying to get people to think that Joy is the mole. So people will be, she's suspicious. And so maybe that's
because I'm like, that's the only, because for me, that's the only reason why Jacob would let Joy read the map. I'm like, yeah, you're just trying to cast it on her. If that's a strategy, it's working. But let's also move on because, babe, it's getting late for me and I have to go to work. So I want to move a little bit faster since the last episode. Let's talk about when they're on foot. The guys on foot, you have William, you have Avery, and you also have Pravan. And Avery, can she not run? Was she really tired? Or was she just like, I'm throwing this? I was so confused.
Yeah, I think she got tired and she also wants to look a little bit like the mole. So she was not.
I was with Pravan on that. So I'm like, girl, this is not the time for you to be tired and running slow. We need to get this done and get out of here. But I wasn't
get the option now to use bikes. So like near the end of it, because Pranav was like, we could run this, we could do this, but like Avery is not able to handle this run. Like in like 1 mile, she was already gassed out. It seemed, even though she seemed like she was fine, but she was like, oh, I can't, I feel sick. And I think her line when she's lying is like, oh, I feel sick. Like that's going to be, for me, my tell that Avery is lying about something is when she says she feels sick. So we're going to keep our eyes out for that from her.
Yeah.
So using the bikes, they have to spend some of the money, but I would have 100% used the bike so they can get back in time. And it's easier to ride a bike than to jog on that concrete. So
I 1000% concur with you on that one. That was a very smart decision to make. They just had to get there. And I don't fault any of them. It was a good decision. And they got all of their packs.
Absolutely. So
yes,
they got all their packs. That it's valuable for them to go and I don't remember how much, I didn't write down how much they spent for it, but they are able to get back to the train on time. Now in that car though, with our Jacob and Joy, they miss the turn. They keep on missing the turn. Is that the road? Oh, I don't think so. Well, if you think it might be a road, it's probably the road. Like, what are you guys doing? So I was so frustrated with them. I said, Joy is so annoying. And they decide to go back for the third parcel at the 11th hour when they had just like a couple minutes left to go beat the damn train. They're like, we should do it. We need the money. It's like, no, you need to get back there in time for this money to count, people. So they do go back.
They are not making any sense because another thing is we are back to Joy lacking agency. You know what I mean? I literally could see the last one. They passed us like, oh, we just passed them. I'm like, Joy, why are your eyes not staring and looking? You should be able to see that you're approaching a mailbox. It's a flipping mailbox. It wasn't hidden in the woods. It's a mailbox on the side of the road. You just need to keep your eyes on it. And even when they do the U-turn, I feel like the U-turn wasn't really that sharp or that fast of a U-turn. And even when Jacob had to jump out to go get the package, I'm like, why is Jacob jumping? Joy, you are at the back. Your job should be the one getting out to go look for these things. Like, I don't know if Joy is slow in her head or stupid or lazy or everything combined, because it's just like there is no sense of agency on their side.
So annoying. I need urgency in these type of tasks, and I'm like,
she doesn't
nobody has it ever. Like Avery's just chilling. Like even if I was like gassed out, I'd be like, okay, I'm coming, guys, I'm coming. I'm sorry. Like I'm trying. Like I would still be like trying to do it. I wouldn't just be like, I can't, guys. I can't go this fast. I can't. So Jacob and Joy are the last team to get back there. They're 18 seconds late, so they weren't able to contribute anything to the pot, but 11,000 in total from the train team and the foot team.
The foot team, yeah.
Not Joy. I take $25,000, but I'm not going to add $1,000 from a mailbox. Like,
but don't worry, guys, we'll get it back. Shut up.
So the players are in the warehouse, and it is a meal to remember that they're going to be doing here. And so they're going to have three or four different courses. And I thought this was a brilliant idea for a challenge, a task. And so basically, they were sitting on chairs, and two of the chairs had a detonator underneath it. And the people that were sitting on the chairs of the detonators, they were going to be receiving food that looks exactly like everybody else, food and drink, but it tasted differently. So there's going to be basically $15,000 on the line here if they manage to was it keep one? How does it go? Keep one detonated. Right? At least, only one. So they have to have one person still sitting on the detonator at the end of it, I believe is how it went down. But there's also an exemption on the line. So you know that Joy's eyes are perked up here. So the answer to who is has the detonator is in the clue, and the clue is in the food. So the first is wasabi, is peas and pie. And the people that had the detonator is going to have wasabi peas. So they're going to have to pretend as though nothing's going on, but they have some really spicy food in their mouth, which I thought was hilarious. So then they all vote on who they think does not have the detonator. So first round, it's Casey and Pranav. The second round, and neither of them had the detonator, so they were correct, so they leave. It's beer or apple cider vinegar that's carbonated. And people are like chugging it, and Avery's like, I don't chug beer. And like, it was just very funny to see people just like I don't think I could chug a glass of apple cider vinegar.
Hell no.
I couldn't.
Hell no.
So they were, so Greg and Avery are out. Then, so what is it? Oh, they have the Australian pavlova, which is a dessert. And what they're laced with chilies. And then Cassie and Jacob are out this round. But Cassie was on a detonator, so hers did.
We need to stop right here, right at this moment, because once again we're back to Kwasi just emotionlessly smiling. No, I'm enjoying this. Oh, Jesus Lord. She's not doing much to convince anyone. Like, I understood why she was voted out at that moment. I also would have voted her out, but I felt like there was a moment for her to try even harder to stay or pretend, do something. It lacked so much effort.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob was doing his best to make it seem like, oh no, whatever. Like, he really was making an effort, and he wasn't sitting on a designator, and the person that was supposed to be making an effort so they can have two people sitting there so they can even up the playing field and up their numbers, did not make an effort. She just said one thing, one line. I'm enjoying it. If I could have slap her across the face on the TV, I would have. I'm like, do something. But no, she's just
well, of course, it's only Joy and Will left. And now that this is the case, we learn that Will is sitting on the detonator. Joy gets up and she gets to choose between two options. So either $15,000 is underneath a serving platter, or she gets to take an exemption for all of the money. And Will's like,
I'm sorry.
You already had one. You already had one. And she's like, I'm greedy.
I'm greedy.
I'm greedy. But you're not greedy for money.
That for me was epic. Okay, first of all, do you believe that William is the one sitting on the second bomb?
He had to have been, because she got up.
She got up. Fine. We got that covered. What do you think she's going to do? Do you think she will surprise us and not take the exemption?
Say it again?
Do you think she will surprise us and just save William and gain everybody's trust and put more money on the pot?
I don't think that she's always going to be out for herself. I will always assume that she is going to take the exemption if she can.
So you have absolutely zero faith in her. I don't
I
know.
do
I feel like
not.
she's going to surprise us a little bit.
I do. I'm greedy. I'm greedy. I'm greedy. Like she's greedy. She's greedy. She's taking that exemption. She is not going to let that one go. Okay, so
So
let's.
yeah.
How do we do this quiz though? So
Ooh.
I wanted to quickly. So wait. So you think that she's going to be um good for the group, and she's going to. Oh, the quiz is closed now. Tune in October 14th to watch the next batch of episodes and find out if your hunt
What?
is still good or if you got. That's annoying.
I mean, we're looking forward to doing it live with everybody.
Well, it's still 2 days from today. Why couldn't the quiz still be open?
That kind of sucks. I was getting ready.
Yeah, okay, Margot is 500% taking the exemption. No, she's taking the exemption.
Yeah,
No
guys.
way. So yeah, it was a little confusing. I don't know for sure if it was the person that was sitting on the detonator had the bad food or the good food. So I'm thinking that bad food was for the people that did not have the detonator, and good food was for the detonator. That's what I think it was.
That's what I also think it was. Hence why I was extremely annoyed with Kwasi not being able to pretend like she's eating disgusting food when there's only 4 people remaining and she's sitting on a designator. It was you were told it's chilly inside. You could have made a funny face. You could have done something. Jacob did a funny face. Something. So for her to like not make an effort when it was so close, it was extremely frustrating to watch. And that's when I was like, okay, this girl is going way higher on my list.
Mm-hmm. Way higher.
But
she would surprise me if she did not take the money. Yeah, everybody said she's taking the money. William said that he had good food the whole time. Oh, true. So they knew that William was the sitting on a detonator. Yeah. All right. Well, we got through these 3 episodes pretty succinctly. An hour and a half, pretty good. Not too bad. Not too late for you, so you can get to sleep pretty soon. Is there anything else that you want to talk about these last 3 episodes? So tell me just quickly your suspects. Who, like maybe your top 3 suspects of who's the mole?
I came in with my mind completely made up that it was Jacob until you brought up the cell phone part. Because I suspected Kwasi completely 1000% on the airplane and also on the tasting of the food and her on the train. So that's where my suspect list were. But when you brought up the cell phone list
and the fact that they didn't show her going into that cell because it would have been too obvious.
That's that when you said that, that's when my mind started spinning and moving way closer towards Kwasi than I initially came in. When I came in, my mind was made up on Jacob. I honestly don't think that Joy is the mole anymore. I just feel like she's too obvious. I just feel like she's a villain and she's interesting. I'm also not quite sure about Drake anymore. I just think like Drake is an interesting character. However, I don't want to write him off completely. I still have my eyes on him. So the top 3 is Kwasi, Jacob, and Drake.
Yeah, I think I agree with those 3. I have Kazi at the top of my list right now because if I'm starting to look, she doesn't seem to ever do well on a mission. Never.
Not even do well. It doesn't seem to do anything
exactly
on the missions.
So sus. I might have to go back and look at some other like episodes 1 and 2 just to see. Like I know she was part of the winning group in the first mission, but it was probably because she didn't want to like tip people off right away. You know what I mean? Like she's probably nervous or something. So
and she wasn't very highlighted that much on the first 2 episodes.
It's true.
Ausi and the other people took most of the time because remember I think you brought her up. It was Samari, Kwasi, and Sandy who are very low edited on the first 2 episodes. So the first time we spoke about it, we were not focusing on those 3. We're also seeing her more from the 3rd episode going up.
Kathy is keeping notes from each episode. Yeah, we need to. I mean, I have my notes that I've written down. Like maybe I need to put down some sus moments from everybody and keep a track of those. It's interesting. Kazi wasn't high on my list. Oh, Kazi's number 1 on my list right now.
She went up real quick, Marco.
Up quick for me as well. The fact that he's been involved in 2 failed missions recently. So it just kind of highlighted him as being a possible mole. But I just don't know if I think he's smart enough to do it. I'm just saying.
Who's that?
Jacob. And then I don't think Greg's the mole, but I'll put him up as 3rd just because he does things that are a little bit sketchy and shady. I think that he's smart enough to be able to do it. And so if he was the mole, I would think that he's like an excellent mole. He's just able to really bamboozle, which is pretty impressive. So those are my top 3. Same people, just different order.
At this point, I'm even doubting their professions, hey? I swear, you don't even believe they gave us the right professions.
Kathy has a spreadsheet. Hilarious. Okay, you're Taurus. Taurus likes things organized. Or can sometimes. What was I going to say? There's one last thing I was going to say. Oh, so if you ever go back and look at any of the past episodes, I don't know if I told you this last time online or not, but sometime in the previous years, they did have other little clues as to who's the mole. So if you go back and look, maybe like the name of a city or the number in the train means something, or like different little clues that we would receive to know who the mole is. So if you do a rewatch.
When you told me that, you told me when you did this, I went back, I watched, I still could not get a damn thing.
They're usually very.
Since I'm thinking about it now, the heist, the bank heist, Dalaro, I'm thinking Colorado. So the mole must be someone from Middle East, Colorado. I don't know. My mind is spinning. I don't know. I can't think. Nothing is popping out except for this moment. I'm thinking Colorado is somebody from Colorado or someone from the Midwest, Ohio, Jacob.
I didn't put those things together, to be honest. But if they did, then good on you for figuring that out. Thank you, Zoe, for coming on live. We'll probably do the next 2 episodes on Monday again, and then Wednesday for the second part. I don't know however they do it, we'll figure it out. I don't know how they're going to
figure it out. Yeah.
So we'll probably go live on Monday, maybe around this time, for the next 2 episodes, or maybe even over the weekend. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But I'm really happy to be talking about this season. It's been really fun so far. It's fun with you, Zoe. I like analyzing everybody and calling out all this suspicious behavior. It's been a good time. So let people know where they can find you.
I'm at the Zoe at the Hangout Room, Twitter at the Hangout Room. Yeah, I'm not really active on Instagram. That one is too personal, so no, I don't do Instagram that much. It's a personal one, not for the YouTube. But personally, if you get to know me, check me out on YouTube, The Hangout Room, and Twitter, also The Hangout Room, and TikTok, also The Hangout Room.
All right. Please follow Zoe on all of her accounts. And if you haven't done so already, you can follow us over here. Subscribe to the channel, please. Can you like this video, please? Can we try to get like 100 likes? It would be amazing if we could get 100 likes for this video, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. We can find other people that love talking about this show as much as we do. Get this chat popping, even though it's still popping.
Yep.
Even more popping would be amazing. So leave us a like and comment on who are your top 3 suspects right now. Top 3 suspects and what has been their most suspicious activities they've done to sabotage the missions. All right. We'll see you guys soon after we get the next 2 episodes dropped. Thank you for hanging out with us. Bye.
Bye.